Death, what kind of dwarf would you like? You did finally got one. Well, technically, end of this month. Yeah. You fell on your knee and it's super fucked up. Nothing broke or anything, Hank, thankfully. Oh, God, that sucks, dude. Don't fuck up knees. Knees are a bad thing to fuck up. Any interesting craft dwarves? Define interesting. I don't know. We got a billion weavers, because that's what they're all doing, is weaving. Which is a very thankless job. They run out into the caverns and dodge certain death to go get webs to weave. But that's about it. We have a blacksmith with an axe. I've got some engravers and stoneworkers. Yeah, I fucked up my knee real bad. Like when I was 16 because I got hit by a car. It clipped me right at the wrong angle, right in the corner of my knee, and did like a backflip into a blackberry bush, and then woke up. Car just drove off. Never seen that before? Yeah, it's from Honey Stuff. You'll take an engraver. So would you like Solon, Tubal, or Zephon? Yeah, I mean, like, I was fine. It literally just hit me in the knee. Oh, I mean, if there wasn't a blackberry bush, I would have probably fallen like 4 or 5 meters into a ditch. Instead, I was just like suspended on a blackberry bush when I woke up. I mean, like, I walked home. Like, I was okay. It was just, it clipped me at the bad angle, and it's never fully recovered. And now, like, if we get a couple of days in a row with really high humidity, it starts to ache, and if I hike on it too long, it starts to hurt. It's not fun. Death. She is not careful with resources when working on projects and often spends unnecessary effort. She only rarely feels strong cravings or urges, and she can have little interest in joking around. She rarely feels. I need to move closer to my monitor. She does not easily fall in love and rarely develops positive feelings and tends to share her own experiences and thoughts with others. She enjoys the company of others and doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. She has a tendency towards forming deep and emotional bonds with others and has a calm demeanor. She isn't given to flights of fancy, and she doesn't mind wearing something special now and again. She scratches her ear when she's nervous, and she needs alcohol to get through the working day and doesn't really mind being outdoors, at least for a time, and doesn't really care about anything anymore. She personally finds the idea of competition to be obscene, and values eloquence, and sees sacrifice as wasteful and foolish, and does not really value skills related to fighting, and doesn't particularly respect commerce, and dreams of raising a family. She likes hornblende, bismuth, star ruby, coral, bolts, and catapult parts, and goats for their eating habits, and paradise nut trees for their nut-filled pods. You like nut-filled pods. She likes the sound of the lacy phrases and when possible prefers to consume pearl mullet and beer and goat's milk and absolutely hates lizards. Some migrants have arrived despite the danger, and she has a thin body with little fat. Her eyebrows are high and her hooked nose is broad and her heliotrope eyes are slightly rounded. Her head is broad and her medium-length hair is braided. Her hair is black and her skin is ecru. We'll see you later, Casualty. Thanks for hanging out today. All right, so I'm going to make a set of 3 stairs right here out of this stuff. And we'll start building. I don't know, is it accurate? Like I always say, it's like getting your palm read. Oh no! Terrible news, chat. There's no wind. Could try building another one a little higher up. We'll see if that helps, but sad. We'll try building one out here. It just means we'll have to go with water power. The square top center above the windmill, and that blocks it. I mean, no, I didn't. There's just a thing above it, but we'll build out here and see if this one spins. If this one spins, then we do have a thing and I need to move it. Otherwise, it should be fine. It blocks it if they're enclosed, but it's not technically enclosed. But you might be right. We'll see. We'll see if that one spins first, and if it does, then I'll just move it elsewhere. Because I've definitely built them under mountains before and they've worked, so. You ran into that a lot with your tower fort? Yeah, makes sense. I mean, we'll just try building one out here and see if this works. And if this works, then we'll do more with it. Otherwise, not going to lose sleep over it if it doesn't. I can always just, you know, use aquifers. You bet it'll work? It probably will. And at which point, then I'll just simply move it over by, what, 2 tiles or whatever. Whatever I need to move it to. So here, all the way along, we're going to channel down another layer. We're going to give them a way out at the end here. And the idea is that they walk up and onto this walkway up here, which is going to be a single tile wide all the way along this. And then we're just going to shoot rocks at them out of catapults. With the fill pond job until they get thirsty? Do you have a water source to take the water from? But I don't generally make wells that way. I usually just channel down into an aquifer, 1 tile. It's usually what I do. This is just 1 tile above the aquifer channeled down into it. Another forgotten beast is coming, and more of this 3-eyed newt. It has a long curving horn, and it squirms and fidgets. Its dark taupe skin is waxy. Beware its poisonous bite. Fear the poison nibble. So scary. Well, the door is locked right now. I don't know if it can get in. I would like to fight it, though. Well, here comes the critter. Let's lock the door real quick. It moves forwards, and Salon the Swordsdwarf was found dead. Wow, that was quick. Swordsdwarf stabs the Forgotten Beast in the lower body with her steel short sword. The Forgotten Beast kicks the Speardwarf in the head with her front foot, and the Swordsdwarf in the head and the front with their front foot, and the injured part explodes. Someone got kicked in the head. Okay. Well, I mean, the dwarves are now fighting the creature back. It's bleeding heavily. Seems like Aegis and Aerith are on the front line, with Integer running around behind to get the blocking move in, which seems unwise, as Integer is not wearing a helmet, and this thing did just, like, face punch somebody to death. The creature's intestines are hanging out, which is not a good sign for the creature. It seems to be getting stabbed by or slashed by Aegis repeatedly. Darius is hammering it with an iron warhammer. Aegis is slashing the Forgotten Beast. Actually managed to sever their left front foot, and it sailed off in an arc. The beast's innards are hanging out. Darius bashes it. Yeah, it seems like we just have it on the ground and we're just beating it to pieces. And there goes the creature. Swiftly dead. I thought I put... Yes, I didn't. I thought that I put a butcher shop down there, but I suppose I didn't. Okay, so I'm actually just going to forbid this creature's body. Just going to put a butcher right here. And also I'm going to re-equip metal uniforms on all these dwarves. There we go. Now everybody gets helmets and whatnot. Because I was making more helms. Hello, Giraffe. Stream good so far? A little quiet today, but no loud complaints. There we go. Getting a beastie butchered. What was up with the horror cord? Suited Giraffe pays me a lot of money for a subscription, thus gets fancy custom sound. So 232 Forgotten Beast meat. You'll love to see it. Yeah, no, that's Giraffe's sound. You too could purchase yourself one if you want, but tier 3 or $25 a month on Patreon gets you a custom sound. Tier 2, unless it was gifted, or $7 a month on Patreon gets you the generic ones. A walled coven. Apparently this didn't increase the value of this enough. Yes, just ask me. My only request is that you don't change it like 3 times a month. Like, don't change it an unreasonable amount, but like, many people have been through many of them. Walled Coven here needs higher value. So no, absolutely you could change it. Kind of don't want to change the way that one looks. I think instead of changing the way the Walled Coven looks, I'm just going to jump onto the other side over here. We'll dig out another room for them. I think is what we'll do. Why would they get a gold-plated room, Weeb Trap? But anyway, yeah, no, you can absolutely get more dwarves. Or not dwarves, sound command swaps. Initially, back in the day, I think I actually specified specifically you can't change it more than once per month, but I don't care. But if you do like that one guy did the one time ages ago back when I first launched this, which is ask for a new one exactly on the 1st of every month, because if I didn't have that restriction, he would have changed it every 3 days. I'm going to start ignoring you at a point. Then he got super mad at me and sent me death threats when I started streaming different games. And then he unsubbed. It was a good time. Lovely individual. Although that was before I was even an affiliate. That was before Twitch even had affiliate as a thing, really. Big yikes. Turns out there's a lot of those on the internet. You do the opposite of make my life difficult. Average Twitch user?
Crypt jams, crypt gun, crypt L, crypt R, crypt beer, crypt jam.
Average Twitch users, big yikes. Sentient Potato. One of the members of the consortium of taters. Jerry Gord, you've been following me for what? 4 months? 5 months? And you have a green cheer badge. Yeah, you've been subbed for 4 months. You're tier 3 and you have a green cheer badge. You've helped more than like the vast majority of people. So. How's the fort going? Pretty good. We've had a few deaths. We got besieged by an army of angry amphibians. They're all dead now, though. Their shields are still in the walkway, which is a little awkward, but... Butchered several beasts that are now forgotten. We've got attacking army of batmen. So we're oh, I see. They're fighting with a cave crocodile. Well, we shall get out here and kill the batmen. Simple. There's more batmen. There's probably a ton of them that we're not currently seeing. Oh, I see. My dwarves are down here and they're all fighting with well, okay, this is not good. Corvius Suede is currently fighting with a seriously injured batman. Corvius, how's that fight going? The weaponsmith... Wait, we attacked first? Literally, Corvius attacked them first twice. So I guess we're at fault. We're the baddies. You know, it's funny. We got attacked by angry amphibians, but I haven't seen anybody post Crypt Lick yet today, which is literally supposed to be an amphibian min. Max. Anyway. Yeah, seems to be just, like, punching the crap out of this poor bat person. But Phycod, the animal dissector down. Oh, and there's a giant cave toad. Man, it's like a goddamn party here. Holy crap. What is happening up here? Are they... Who is fighting what? Are they mounted on the giant toads? Because it kind of looks like they're mounted on the giant toads. Yeah, they're mounted on giant toads. That's cool. And like elk birds.
Here come the toad lickers.
Well, that's slightly terrifying. We're gonna lose some dwarves though. We lost Corvius, Suede, and Tekid. The toads are amphibious, yes. And Batmen can fly. We've lost 3 now. Get out into the caverns, Elfie. We have to save our dwarves. They're fighting with the mounted Batmen. Yeah, they're mounted on giant olms and giant cave toads. I'm actually kind of worried about my soldiers getting overrun here. Maybe not. I was worried. Now I'm not. Man, that's quite the bloodbath. Jeez. There's also just, like, normal giant bats in here. Sending the military back down to go deal with the rest of them. And before anybody asks, yes, I could set this up so that it would be a lot safer, but where's the fun in that? Well, killed 3 bat women, 1 bat man, and a cave crocodile. Well, Arno over here has killed 2 batmen, 2 giant olms, and 1 elk bird. Fun is losing, yep. Well, I guess we claim all of this stuff. And build a bunch more tombs. I only have 3. Dang it. Have to make more. This whole thing is just becoming one gigantic burial chamber. It's kind of dark. All right, well, you work. So yeah, I guess we just need to make this 1 tile over, basically. Are you still the mayor? You haven't died, so yeah, you are in fact still the mayor. Currently, you want me to make 3 more breastplates. It's a real invasion? It kind of is, yeah. What's funny is I've completely, like, capped the amount of numbers that they can send down. Also, someone is still fighting with a Batman. Which means we're probably about to lose another dwarf. Tisk. Very good, carry on. Well, what were you going to say if you weren't still the mayor? Also, Suited Giraffe, thank you very much for the $2, by the way. I feel kind of bad whenever a dwarf that was named today dies. It's like, well, rip Corvius Suede. Let's make 45 coffins. For no particular reason other than that was just the number I typed in. How's Stone, aka Seashore's Walls health? No health problems. You do have some stitches in your wrist. I mean, you're currently hauling a chalk boulder, so I get the feeling that you're doing okay right now. keep them as a pet. Unfortunately, I don't think they would appreciate being kept as a pet very much, which means they would probably just fight us back. So the Golden Shrine is the one that I need to add this onto. I kind of hate the fact that, like, I make an area larger and it's just like the value goes down. It's like I know they need to recount it, but it makes no sense. It's like, why would me adding space to a thing make the value go down? It's pretty impressive for somebody who fought a giant unarmed and got knocked into the giant pit. Actually, no, I don't want to go all the way in. I want to stop there. All right, so here we're going to go all the way across to here. I don't know, but it didn't used to work that way and it bothers me now. Jerry Gord, who am I giving a dwarf to? A regular potato. Well, it's better than an irregular potato. What kind of dwarf is a regular potato? Is that a cook? Or like a dyer or a lye maker? Maybe a brewer, perhaps. I'm thinking a regular potato, since I haven't gotten any specificities yet, is this dwarf here, who is currently sleeping. A regular potato. A regular potato feels helping others is an imposition on his time and has little time for forgiveness and will generally seek retribution and doesn't seek out excitement, is slow to anger and doesn't handle stress well, has a sense of duty and is somewhat quarrelsome, bothered by this since he values friendship. He likes to keep things practical without delving too deeply into the abstract, is not particularly interested in what... There's somebody stuck somewhere? Actually, I'll be willing to bet they're behind that door. Where'd you go? Regular potato. There you are. He generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity and occasionally overindulges and likes to brawl and needs alcohol to get through the working day. Dreams of creating a great work of art, would personally value honesty and the ideas of finds the ideas of independence and freedom somewhat foolish, doesn't care about nature one way or another, and does not care about family one way or another, and dreams of creating a great work of art. Likes talc, brass, and kunzite and paradise, not wood, and leopard seal leather and wolverine tooth for their loyal... Wait, no. Wolverine tooth and the color Carillion and maces and toy hammers and dogs for their loyalty and shadow brutes for their horrifying features. The words of the berries of serenity and the sound of the phrase of lathering, and when possible prefers to consume black bullhead and giant tapir cheese and bayberry wine and bitter oranges and absolutely hates toads. Fortunately, I don't have this problem of needing to breathe manually and am breathing while I'm talking. It's called using my nose. He is his once thin frame is now bearing enormous thick layers of fat. His very long beard is arranged in double braids, and his sideburns are clean shaven, and his very long mustache is neatly combed. His narrow nose is short, and his slightly close-set brass eyes are slightly rounded. His sandy taupe skin is slightly wrinkled, and his lower body bears a short straight scar. His right lower arm bears a long straight scar, and his left foot bears a massive straight scar. His eyelashes are short, and his hair is dark brown with a touch of gray, and his nose bridge is slightly convex. I've never had an unloyal mace in my life, so. All right. Well, it appears that they left the Forgotten Beast meats out there, and it's just rotting now. Well, that's good. Well, military has been kind of beaten on a little bit, so. Novice fighter. Adequate mace dwarf. Novice fighter. Don't need peasants. Might as well get you doing something. And with you, you're also a peasant. Go grab a weapon. Send in the competent axe dwarf. Seems like we're missing helmets, but we're doing okay in regards to like shields and other things. Yeah, we're missing some things. We need more breastplates. We need more helmets. We certainly need more low boots. Although currently we're just like straight up out of steel, so. Let's just smelt hematite ore. We'll do 20 of those when the amount of hematite is greater than, when the amount is greater than 10, we'll do 10. So we'll just work our way through it. We'll make pig iron bars if the number of pig iron bars is too low. So we'll do 20. If it's less than 10, they'll make 20. Or rather, if it's less than 10, they'll make 10. And what's the last thing I need? Steel bars. Make steel bars. If the amount of pig iron bars is greater than 5, make 10. All right, well, that should get that queued up, more or less. So let's check up here. The pages have been made, and this creature is going to do the zzz. You have a good time doing the zzz. Diamond. You know, today's the first day in a long time that I've actually been tempted to ask chat for an impromptu round of beers, purely because chat's been kind of lurky. So we're going to do this down the sides, and then we're going to do... basically, we'll do bridges along either side so that I can smooth the last bits of it. Could also just put rockfall traps in it. Let's actually just put a door in the middle of that. We will remove all these. So much stone. Oh, absolutely. What kind of solitaire are you playing? I mean, trust, it's not a bad thing that chat's lurking. It just makes me, I don't know. Makes doing my job harder is all. Thanks for the penny. Klondike? My favorite solitaire are the various solitaires that Zachtronics has made for their games. Those are my favorite solitaires. Shenzhen Solitaire, I think, is $3 on Steam, and it's my favorite solitaire. I think I can do this way. Because it should just keep going. A force that is dark and vile has arrived. How annoying. It's like I just want to train up my military for a minute without having to, like, send them off to go fight goblins for a bit. It'd be super nice if I could do that, but... Between these goblin sieges and the cavern dwellers, we really haven't had much time. Also, what's up, Shady? Well, I mean, I know now that I've placed the defensive corridor in the right place because they automatically walked in here, which is a pretty good sign. There's a lot of them, damn. That was a not small group of goblins, jeez. Didn't lose anybody though, so I guess that's a benefit. Poor goblins, they attacked us. No one said they had to attack us. We could have been Fwans, but nope, they attacked. Everything changed when the Goblin Nation attacked, after all. They just confused? I mean, they being forced to attack by goblin leaders. Which, yeah, sucks, but is what it is. Easy $10 purchase? Hell yeah. Goblins can go die to the circus. I like kobolds. Kobolds are funny. Dehydrated. You got random dwarves popping up dehydrated left and right. Something's sussy is going on here. I don't like it. This surface area just becoming a tomb is kind of grim. Fortunately, they're not getting claimed instantly now, which is nice. Means I've got enough, but... Yeah, I like kobolds because kobolds are perpetually confused by each other because their language is entirely contextual. So they can't even communicate. They're one of the only... They're the only natural faction in Dwarfort that's playable with... That's not playable, but exists without mods that doesn't have a punishment for lying because they don't know what it is. You can't lie if your language is entirely contextual. Also, we're about to get hit by an ad, so... Rook has just been found dead. What are we missing? Do I not have doctors? Well, I don't have a bone doctor. That seems like a problem. That's bizarre. I don't know what happened to this dwarf. I apparently need to pay better attention to my hospital. Whenever somebody dies, you want to start a new world? You need to remember that dwarves are almost lemmings. If you've never played lemmings, lemmings are disposable. I'm not saying the dwarves are entirely disposable, but they're pretty close to disposable. As long as they're not named, I don't mind so much. No. No, it wasn't. Kippawa. When a dwarf dies, they're done, gone, dead, kaput. I mean, if you have DF hack installed, I could type in death cause. And then type in, so it's like, you type in death cause, and you select a corpse or body on the ground, and then type in death cause. So if I do that and, like, select a corpse or body, it should theoretically tell me. Type command here and see enter. Okay. Death, cause, enter. No items selected in the UI. Okay, so if I select a... How does it work in this? Let's say, I don't know, this thing. I guess I need to have the corpse itself selected. So we could go here, I think. Death cause. But it's under the cursor. Do you want me to not have it selected? I don't know what the game wants. Maybe it wants this. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Or how that works these days. We'll fiddle with that later. But previously, you just type in the name, but it wants me to mouse over top of it. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to mouse over top of it with DF hack up, but... Scribes are needed in the library to write down death causes. Right now, you get the death cause by looking at... what's it called? Right now, you get death cause by looking at these slabs. So an engraved slab, if you look at it. In memory of Tekid, bled to death in the year 296, creator of the Socketed Glens, and sacred music of the fabulous Coven in 296, united with the great... with giant narwhal bone. What's up, Prubu? You need to select the corpse, not the coffin? I had the corpse selected, dude. Like, Select corpse. See? I had the corpse selected like that. And death, cause, although this is a different corpse. No unit is selected in the UI. Okay, well that Killette died of dehydration in the year 299. That's not helpful, but... Use the keyboard selector? No. Apparently it doesn't work for teeth, which is what I had selected previously. Humans have arrived to trade. Actually, here's a thing that I was going to do, which I should have done before I got completely sidetracked. Silk. Silk mittens seem lovely. Cap, cloak, trousers. And... tunic. And... dress. We'll just do 200 of each. I've got more than enough silk. Oopsies, wrong button. I fat-thumbed F11 instead of hitting the button I was looking for, which was backspace. And that made the game full screen. Having a hard time imagining what the heck this UI with folders would look like. Dwarf who's still alive, whose teeth got knocked out, do you save them somewhere until they get buried? I usually just crush them in the drawbridge. They will bury it with the body when the dwarf finally dies, but the dwarf has to die first. So I usually just throw them into... if they have one assigned to them, they might get prepared. They might get pre-buried, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I usually just like crush them with a drawbridge because they ain't using them. Same with like noses and ears that get removed unceremoniously. It's like, yeah, they figure it out. It's fine. It's funny. Now that we have the stock screen that opens faster, it makes it really, 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 really painfully obvious that the other screens, like the trading screen, load slowly now. Because the trading screens still load slower. It's not like unplayably slow or anything silly, but it is noticeably slower than the normal stock screen now. Always loaded faster previously than the normal stock screen, but it feels like it needs the same treatment. It's too soon for you going to the workday? Yeah, I don't know of any dwarves in this fort that have their teeth removed. Although I'm starting to just feel bad for this fort because I've done a really shitty job managing the coffins up on the surface. There's just like coffins everywhere. Like that entire courtyard is just like Coffin City. It's kind of just awful. Don't mind the coffins. They're used already. Oh no, a bull is starving. I did see them running around. With an overly deep aquifer, get through it as quickly as you can. Smoothing stone will slow it down. Very useful though. like 4 layers thick so far. Take a look at this one. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 7. And then it started up again. There was another one over there on that side, so I had to spin around in the other direction. It's all silter sand. Batch make a bunch of blocks so that you can build quickly. But 4 isn't that deep. 4 is pretty standard. It's the 7 to 25 layer thick ones that I think are a little crazy. The worst one I ever had was 60. You pull that sort of shit with coffins sometimes? What? Be like, these are the greeting coffins. Welcome to the welcoming coffins. Now that you've seen the welcoming coffins and the greeting coffins, these are the happy, fun time, awesome coffins. Everybody's favorite coffins. Yeah, 60 was the worst one I've had in this version. It took a minute. Wait, the giantess Remus Pusmod has come. A creature resembling a human, almost unparalleled in size. Is this Mum? Oh my god. So, I killed her husband, or the father. I killed the younger brother. No, sorry. I killed the younger brother of this giantess. I killed her father. Oh boy. There's also a younger half-sister in here somewhere. It's a big family. No items. I'm the monster. They're attacking me. Hasn't this happened before? We had it happen in the last world with Ettins. With the constructive orb stuff. It's chasing Kodal. See, you call me the monster. It just killed Kodal. And now it's chasing Stone, aka Seashore's Wall. That's the second time they've been chased by a member of this family. And it appears that fighting happened. The giant has attacked the Thresher, but he jumps away. Stone says, I must withdraw, I must withdraw, I must withdraw. So Stone withdraws 3 times. Seems to have gone well, because now the giantess is in combat with a spear dwarf, who smacked it in the upper body with the steel shield. And then he also punched the Weaver, but in the eyelid with his left hand, but the attack glances away. She punched this dwarf, but the attack just glanced away. That's kind of impressive, actually. Moma's here is faint and seriously injured. The creature is dead. It appears that the spear dwarf stabbed the giantess in the head with a steel spear, tearing the muscle and chipping the skull. Are we going to save the Weaver? Seriously injured, not bleeding anymore. That's a good sign. Now the military all shows up. You'll have to see if the younger half-sister comes next. Yeah, they must be living, like, right next door to us. They really must be. And of course, there's a sock in the doorway. Gotta get rid of that. All right. We're still making rock coffins. Okay. We're still bringing items to depot. But that's the doorway sock? Yeah, and we can't have no doorway sock. We're awaiting one more item. Let's just trade. So they can't actually take all of this because it's too heavy. These humans. What do you have that's so heavy? I'm not buying your goddamn clay. I mean, they did bring some animals. Guess it's mostly just that. Buy their cages. Buy the barrels. Buy the picks. Sure, we'll be fine. We'll have tons more stuff to sell the next crew when they come by. Got to eat this mushroom sandwich. You have a good mushroom sandwich. It seems like an odd thing to have just on a sandwich. Is there anything aside from mushrooms on the sandwich? Or is it truly just a pure mushroom sandwich? Regardless, though, you have a good sandwich. We'll see when we see you. Let's get all this unforbidden. Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming it also has mushrooms on it, because see, that suddenly sounds very appealing. The mushroom is hen of the woods? I've never heard that term in relation to chicken before, so apologies. That is a first for me. Yep, also never heard that. Well, I mean, I guess you learn something every day. Sometimes it's from Twitch chat. Well, I mean, to quote the Matrix, everything tastes like chicken because they got the flavor wrong, but... It's one of my favorite, like, thought experiments from the Matrix is like, well, maybe everything tastes like chicken because they actually just, they got it wrong. Although the actual reading is, tastes like chicken, so bland and flavorless? It's like saying it tastes like tofu. And I like tofu because you can make it taste like anything, but same with chicken. It's all down to just what you cooked it in. All right, so now we wait for all this. And might as well go make more bedrooms while we're at it. Sounds delicious. Love is the best ingredient to put in a sandwich, I gotta admit. It's like it's impossible to make a BLT without love. And why not just eat... Yeah, pretty much. I kind of feel that way. Like, I went to this exotic meats place once, which was just like... Everything is just like random meat that would be common in other parts of the world that you don't normally get to eat, at least here. So they had things like rabbit, which isn't like, unless you know somebody who hunts, you don't really eat rabbit here, right? And they also had like kangaroo and shit, which like you don't normally eat, and like 80% of it just tasted like chicken. Like the vast majority of it was like, ah, yes, this tastes like chicken. Ah, yes, this tastes like chicken. How is that? Kind of tastes like chicken. It's like, great. Everything tastes like chicken. It's the world we live in. Everything tastes like chicken. I think I might do some more mountain core tonight, chat. I think I might. And then maybe a couple rounds of Crab Champions towards the end of the night. Even though Mountain Core ate out for a while. You had ostrich beef stick once. So like ostrich and beef? I feel like that would be flavored like with whatever spices you put in it. Oh, okay. So just like a pepperoni stick kind of deal? Like a hot rods? Like something you get in a gas station? Because yeah, that would just taste like whatever hot peppers they put in that. Dwarves don't eat elves. They don't eat sentience. It is against their nature. Yeah, okay. A Slim Jim. Ah, yes, a Slim Jim. A hot rod. A beef stick. No, I get you. No, dwarves don't have any cannibalistic tendencies, period. So they wouldn't eat an elf. That's no longer a dwarf if they're eating an elf. And in fact, if you type in !ethics in the chat, you can get the full list of ethics for the vanilla civilizations and what they will and won't do, including what they would be willing to eat, if any. Isn't most chicken mechanically separated? Like, isn't that just any factory boneless chicken? Like, it's all just going to be mechanically separated? Yeah, but that's not cannibalism. That's murder. Murder is not cannibalism. Fell moods is when they kill somebody and make an item out of them. There's no cannibalism happening there. There's a difference between murder and, like, the consumption of another sentient entity, right? Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Slim Jims are disgusting. Like, I've definitely eaten them more than once in my life, but it doesn't change the fact that they are disgusting. Not a fan. The ethics page is also one of my favorite pages on the DF Wiki, so. Out of doors. I think I had 200 of them before. Some migrants have arrived despite the danger. Welcome, migrants. Seems like stuff's getting picked up almost immediately, which is good. I'm also going to deconstruct these and just make them into clothier shops because I got enough looms in the basement. Yep. Eating sentient creatures for goblins is a personal matter. If you look at the we've had this discussion a number of times in chat, but like if you look at the ethics of goblin civs, they're just libertarians. Like just straight up, they're libertarians. Everything is a personal matter. Pretty much. With a few exceptions. considering for the demon overlords of goblin civs, murder can just be like a pastime. Like if you read like the history of like the demonic leaders of the different factions, it'll be like, oh, they, you know, went to insert place and killed 5 people, and it's like, oh, that's not murder. That's literally just like their pastime. That's what they're doing for fun. It's like, well, everyone needs a hobby. Whereas for dwarves, cannibalism is unthinkable. And elves also only eat sapiens that have been killed in battle. They don't eat, like when people go around shouting that they are like, you know, rampant cannibals, only ones that have been killed by them in battle. So, whereas the goblins are like making a trophy of the same race, or rather humans are like, make a trophy of the same race is acceptable. Making a trophy of a corpse from another sentient race, that's totally acceptable. So they're just like, yeah, take skulls, put it on a spike. Humans love that. The elves, it's like, nah, that's all unthinkable. So when it comes to like mutilation of corpses and like just generally being evil monstrosities, humans are far worse in Dwarfort than like even the elves. Goblins, everything's acceptable or a personal matter. But, yeah. But dwarves will make, like, totems and trophies out of, like, I don't know, a cow. Can a dwarf marry an elf? Nope. There isn't interspecies relations. They can be best friends, though. They could even be kindred spirits. But there is no interspecies breeding or relations. You know, I firmly believe that kobolds would take over the world if they could actually communicate coherently. Kindred spirits is basically just like the closest you can get to being married without being married in Dwarfort. It's like you're bonded for life kind of bullshit. I think we have like 1 book. I've only ever seen them reading 1. No, we got 3. But yeah, kobolds are strange. I don't know. They are strange little buggers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. And I think I'm going to not be able to build this because I need more mechanisms. So let's just make rock mechanisms. We'll just queue these up and get them started. Make them out of gabbro. We'll make 30. From a really awful series you wish you could scratch. Now I want to know, what series are you quoting? Twilight? Is that really from Twilight? Huh. Interesting. I've seen the first 2 Twilight movies, not due to my own choice. I was literally just like sitting in a hotel room with a bunch of athletes going to a sports thing, and they were watching Twilight. I never fully understood the like complete and total fascination people had with that series. It was just always kind of odd to me. What? Done? Why can't I just use closest material? If you don't turn your brain on for more than 5 seconds at a time, it's perfectly watchable. It's more just why is this so popular? That was like my only real question while I was watching it was, why is this so popular? It's like, this just seems like a story of mutual violence and abuse. Why would anybody want to read this? Poorly written violence and abuse, if that. This is going to take forever to construct. It's also going to take 10,000 fucking mechanisms, but we'll get her done. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Aquifer problems require reworked plans. I'm sure you can rework them. 50 Shades of Grey is also rewritten Twilight fanfiction. Also, I would say a lot of things wouldn't exist if 9/11 didn't happen. It was pretty impactful in the world. You're moving house and faction? Oh, wow, that's pretty reworked plans. Do you have a dwarf here? I think you did, but I'm also like 98% certain that it died. Yes, because we did kind of go from 100 dwarves down to 20. We lost like 90-something dwarves. Twitch itself is against you. Apparently you tried to redeem a dwarf too many times and it won't let you now. To wait for the next stream to do it. I've seen a few people get that notice, and I don't understand. You do still have a dwarf that's alive in this world, though, Stellanitis. So theoretically, you could still just migrate here. Could just make iron bars. Shark jumping walrus. What kind of dwarf would you like? Yeah, that's what it says. I assume that it's just weird wording from Twitch. It just means that somebody already has it popped up, I think. But nobody listens to me when I say what it means, so they always just go, bah, and then people get mad and whatever. But jumping shark walrus, you know what kind of dwarf, or you know what the rules for getting a dwarf are, so what kind of dwarf would you like? Apparently I have 1,000 Gabriel blocks. Military dwarf. Okay. Death wish. I see. Beard or no beard? Man, they're all pissed. Just I can't make them happier. Also, Stinthad. No, that was supposed to be somebody else. Never mind. So which dwarf would you like? We've got we've got this axe dwarf up here. We've got this really angry swords dwarf. This other 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 angry swords dwarf. This like kind of middling mace dwarf. I don't think that any of the sane ones have beards, so you're getting this really angry one. Head smash and shark jump is not the type to fall in love or even develop positive feelings. He's somewhat scatterbrained and strongly prefers discussions of ideas and abstract concepts over handling specific practical issues. He is curious and eager to learn and thinks he is fairly important in the grand scheme of things, does not go out of his way to help others, tends to think before acting, finds obligations confining, though he is conflicted by this for more than one reason. He doesn't handle stress well, and he doesn't mind wearing something special now and again. He lives a fast-paced life, and he generally is confident in his abilities when undertaking specific ventures. He blows out his breath when he's annoyed, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. Personally views competition as a low ideal, not worthy of any respect, values artwork, and dreams of raising a family. He likes borax, electrum, and faint yellow diamond, maple wood, and salmon bone, and giant cave spider silk, picks and bucklers and pigs for their snorts, and the words of the berries of serenity, and when possible prefers to consume saltwater crocodile and rice beer, and absolutely hates moon snails. Sorry, you're getting this one. Why are all your military angry as fuck? Because none of them are any good for the military. That's why. I've had a hell of a time maintaining dwarves for the military in this fort because none of them want to be in the military. So I'll go through and I'll like select all these different dwarves and I'll look through them all and they'll all just be like, nope, you're terrible. Except for the odd one who would actually do okay, but the vast majority of them are just like, nope. Like this one would do okay, so I'm going to add this one to the military. But generally, like, all of the options I have in this fort are just bad for the military. Or all of the options I've been getting up until this point have been bad for the military. Done with the lawn. Yay! It's fine. I mean, we just, like, chew them up and spit them out and move on. This trader's telling a story. What story are you telling? It's making you real happy to tell that story. The accidental sealing attacked the autumn of sands of the Lizard of the Lighting at Arrow Ravens. A human led the attack, and the defenders were led by an elf near 270. Interesting. What's your name? Ton, the trader? I think this dwarf is going to become my tavern person, my tavern keeper. The keeper of the tavern. But no, I really need to just, like, give my squads a break more often. But the problem is like, they keep on, what's the word? Losing members of the squad, so I have to repopulate them. If I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't have so much trouble with them. But because I have to repopulate them, I've been having a lot of trouble with that. Let's see if I can get doors built. Because I've still got dwarves that don't have beds. The fun thing about this fort and just like the building restrictions that I have is like it takes forever to make bedrooms. Like how many dwarves do I have that don't have bedrooms right now still? Good, too many. Way too many. I'm just going to make a set of 6 beds right here, and we're just going to put a little dormitory right here. Be better than nothing. It'll be better than nothing. On the bright side, though, they're all getting fresh clothing. What, Meatpit? It really is turning into a meat pit, yeah. I didn't really intend for it to be so violent, at least not in the way that it is violent. But yeah, it is becoming a rather violent fort. I just wanted to say, chat, today's been kind of quiet. Very low turnout in general compared to recent streams, so I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who are here. Does mean a lot. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching. Because today's been quiet. And it's been a steady downturn since release. So hopefully we'll get a bump at some point. It's just going to be slowly raising anxiety until we get a bump. Wherever that comes from. Be careful what I ask for. Money does not equal bump. Jerry Cord. But this channel will need a bump soon. Yes, but that's not what I was saying that the channel needs, so I'm certainly not asking for what you're suggesting that I'm asking for. I'm asking for the average view count to go up. Then why are you saying that I'm asking for something else? You're saying be careful what you ask for. It's like, but I'm not asking for that. Like, legit. It's not what I'm asking for. You're telling me that I'm asking for something that I'm not. Mm-hmm. So then I won't be careful about asking for more viewers to appear, because that would be something that would be really nice that could happen. And I'm potentially failing. No, you're more just perplexing. Trackmania is good fun. I like Trackmania. But the reason it's tough is because it's a series of mostly free-to-play games that have existed for since 2007, and so a lot of the people that you're playing against are that old. So you'll be playing against people that have been playing that game as like their main game for that long. There we go. So the result is like you'll just get completely obliterated by people that are like quite literally gods at the game. Hold up, Budgie. On the Discord, there's a room called Add a Word Stories, where one word at a time, you guys write somewhat coherent sentences, and then you can make me read sentences like, we inhaled the steam, which intoxicated the roosters, so we'll never breakdance to survive the apocalypse. Goats swallow grass to make nutrition. This requires frequent update. Download. All caught up. We're making that down here, and then over here, we're going to jump up to here again. I'm just going to queue up catapult parts. Why would anybody ever make... Is there actually any actual benefit aside from value to make catapult parts out of adamantine? Steam is down. No! Okay, why? Were you trying to buy a video game? I mean, it is Wednesday. It is server... update day for Dwarf Fort. Yep, it's maintenance day. Servers go down for about an hour every day on Wednesdays for Steam. All right, We got the first few spears set up. Another ghost has risen. Good lord. But yeah, were you trying to download something specific, Chuka? I fortunately don't have anything I need to buy on Steam right now, so things are largely okay if Steam goes down, but I think that should line up right there. There we go. Dwarves have been put to rest. Got so many different types of slabs. Everything that's been engraved has already been placed. You're doing Minecraft Legends. You want to give it a shot? I'm really curious about that. Like, genuinely curious about that. Ooh, Aegis the Stabby has gone into a fey mood. Apparently, it's not showing up. Aegis, what are we going to go make? Well, you're definitely not going to make cheese. You are a talented cheesemaker, so some sort of carpentry thing? And also apparently not. Looks like he's claimed a clother's shop. He's going to make himself a legendary thong, which he'll wear into battle. Let's just make sure he gets everything he needs. Your son likes it? It's kind of neat. I don't know. It's interesting seeing... Uh-oh, looks like Steam is back up. For those of you... At the very least, I can update games now. So Steam is like partially back up. Oh shit, new Lost Flame patch? Very small update for Lost Flame. They added one thing. Lost Flame is another one of those very underappreciated games that more people should care about, I think. Especially people who like roguelikes. So we're going to get a legendary clother out of Aegis. Crab game alternative. Just because a game is, like, fun doesn't mean it's a crab game alternative. All right, you guys make sure this dwarf gets their stuff okay, chat. Pay very close attention. I'm going to go take a urination break. I will be right back. It must be springtime, chat. Traders have arrived. It must be springtime. There are children fighting with pool noodles outside in the backyard area. It must be spring. How is it 10 gigabyte? It has graphics. It's probably uncompressed audio. Beep, 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 beep. But that Minecraft Legends it's an RTS, isn't it? But 4K textures are big, so that'd be my suspicion, would be 4K textures. All right, well, he seems to be getting what he needs. I'm going to go down here, and we're going to sell a bunch of used clothing. Oh, the free desktop dungeons? The old one? I was thinking about picking up the Rewind, Darkest Dungeon Rewind, to stream, but $22 seems a little bit steep for a game I probably won't play that much of. Do not need all of these quivers. Sell the copper shields, the bronze shields, bismuth shields, the tower cap shields, and the bismuth shields, or the bismuth bucklers. Okay, you can sell Forgotten Beast leather. That's weird. Sell the blowguns, sell the training swords. It's a good amount of stuff. What's this? Oh, the Desktop Dungeons Rewind thing? Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just the news release. No, I mean, you get the original one free. Yeah, see, I didn't own the original Desktop Dungeons. I played the original Desktop Dungeons in a browser like a billion years ago. If you owned Desktop Dungeons. I didn't ever own Desktop Dungeons on Steam because I played it in a browser. It was like a free browser game like ages ago. That was how I played it. I remember playing it like, oh god, I want to say I was still playing RuneScape at the time. Like, this would be like late 2000s. Although I might be getting my dates wrong. That's when it feels like it was. Feels like it was a good long time ago. I'll put it that way. And yeah, no, don't worry. It's all good. You know, I really want to help the general happiness of these dwarves. So I'm thinking instead of like going all out and making better snoozing areas, I should probably just make like a mist generator or something. Put it in one of the walkways. Because these dwarves will need it. Or like put a mist generator like here or something. Thinking about doing some power shenanigans. Let's trade. Starship launches tomorrow? Starship?
Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for the good content. May
I'm
it
doing
be
all
a
right.
Good week.
Today's been a little quiet, but I'm doing all right. Got a reindeer and a mule, but thank you very much for the first notification of money in 1 hour. Appreciate you, friend. I'll buy a silver mace, why not? We'll buy the steel shield too. And thank you very much for the 4th month with the tier 2. Means a lot, dude. Buy some foods. Some of these. And thanks for the $2, Darren. I will absolutely buy that book. And we will not sell them the crossbows. And, oh, I can't offer those as a gift? Well, fine. I'll buy the puzzle then. All right, so, Aegis has begun a mysterious construction. Has grabbed iron bars, rough picture jaspers, purring maggot leather, ew. Rough picture jaspers, rough adventurines, goblin cap logs, rough picture jaspers, and 2 llama wool. Well, llama wool and sheep's wool. Purring maggot leather. Yes. You've never seen a purring maggot before. It's how you make dwarven cheese. You milk the purring maggots. Perfectly normal dwarven things. The frick is a purring maggot? It's a maggot that's very large. It's about the size of a duck. And dwarves milk them to make cheese. It's a giant milkable maggot. Dwarven cheese is a Dwarf Fortress delicacy. I also hate it, don't worry. What's even better, and the worst part about it, is that Dwarven cheese is the only food in Dwarf Fortress with a 2-frame animation because it's got living maggots in it. It's the only multiple frame rate animation for food. I mean, maybe kobolds aren't confused. They just pretend they don't understand the dwarves for obvious reasons. I just don't look up maggot cheese in real life. It is a real thing. Just found out that Danny, the Desktop Dungeon OST is from Danny Baranowski. Wait, really? Like, Desktop Dungeon Rewind's soundtrack is Danny B? Really now? I like that, You can just tip the team that makes Desktop Dungeons with their DLC. I was looking to see if they had a soundtrack for sale, but it's just like goat food. Huge tip for the team. Large tip for the team. Tip for the team. That's kind of great. That's interesting. Necrodancer and Super Meat Boy and the original Binding of Isaac soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's also a Vancouverite. I think he's Canadian. I actually ran into the Necrodancers, like the entire team that made that game, on my way home from the Blackwater Holy Light show I went to the other week. Aegis has created Minbaz, Eggur, a sheer llama wool. I wish I knew how to say that. But every time I try, chat tells me I'm wrong. And then I listen to a thing that says it out phonetically out loud for me. And then I try and replicate that, and then chat still tells me I'm wrong. But it's basically just like foot armor or leg armor. From what I can tell. Google doesn't even know how to say it. Well, it's French. That would be why. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, we have one of those. And Aegis has claimed it as a Hamley Fairloom. This is a sheer llama wool chasse. All craft store ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with table-cut adventures and circled with bands of sheep's wool and marquee-cut picture jaspers and goblin cap and purring maggot leather and iron, and it is made from llama wool cloth. The object menaces with spikes of pictured jasper. On the item is an image of merchants of wire, the large bell-shaped flashing metal skirt in llama wool. On the item is an image of the die of staves, the flowing metal two-handed sword in picture jasper. 13, that's not too bad. Just make sure the water dries up at the bottom. If there is water pooling, just make sure it dries before you go on to the next layer, because otherwise it can make it seem deeper than it actually is. Right, who's the new holy mine? A regular potato is now the holy mine. And Pandasaurus Rex has moved to being the high point of the walled coven. But it's damp most of the way down. Well, just make sure that you what's the word? Just make sure that you double check that, like, if you're still getting like damp flooring all the way down, at a point you should pause and see if you can like let the water at the bottom drain, because if there's water just like sitting at the bottom of the stairs, even if it's 1 of 7, it'll tell you that the walls around it are wet. The left wall is damp. I mean, I believe you. I'm just saying that, like, if there is stagnant water there, it will tell you that things are damp, even if it's not. Dwarf Fort isn't that good at giving the player information sometimes. Space for more bedrooms. This is such a shitty hospital. Did I never put chests in here? I'm just seeing, like, thread lying on tables and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I did. Jeez. Yeah, okay. That sucks, dude. 16 levels, or what, 13 layers? Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Anything more than 5 is a bit much. Uh-oh. There be ghosts! Zulban! Slab is engraved, so I just need to place it. God damn it, Zulban. That's actually largely the reason dwarves are upset in this fort, is just due to issues with ghosts not going away. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go place a ramp down here. We're gonna make ourselves a mist generator right here. Let's just make 6 rock statues out of something. Doesn't matter too much. It's 12 or deep. Yeah, that's not so bad. I don't know. Wooden pipe section. Wooden corkscrew. Fast as fuck cartway type mine. Fast as fuck cartway type mine. I don't know what that means, but it sounds effective, so. Three wide ramps all the way down. Yeah, I mean, that'll be effective. I think stairs would be faster personally, but that'll certainly work. Okay, so what we want is I want a, well, actually, what I want is the ability for power to get over here. So we can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. We can go stack those over here because that's where they're supposed to be anyway. It would have flooded as you tried to explore the aquifer. I mean, not if you know what you're doing, but okay. I don't agree with that. That's not how that happens. But can sort of see how you would come to that conclusion. If you know what you're doing, it's not too hard to just dig around it. Okay, let's just channel this whole thing out. Build across this. Ah, fair enough. Yeah. Well, you just need to do it 2 layers at a time. What? Well, Deagle the Metal Crafter's taken a hit. A bunch of my dwarves did, actually. And it seems free old Boreas died in the cave-in. I'm not sure what just caved in. I guess I will cool out the bottom here and we'll just cut out the top. Unless they'd already placed a flooring piece there, which I didn't think they did, but they must have. No, because that's low. That's below. How the hell did that cave in? Well, I'll do it from the top down then. Rest in peace, Boreas. Well, somebody's coming to put him away already. There he goes. Well, you got a schist coffin. What a shame. Rest in peace, Boreas. You were a good dwarf. Yeah, no, you're going to have plenty of water in that fort. That's one of the super beneficial things about having an aquifer, and one of the reasons why I always say, like, aquifers are good. Like, people get upset when there's aquifers. It's like, no, 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 no. You want aquifers. Aquifers are a good thing. Show back up as soon as you die. Yeah, somehow something caved in right there when I was removing a wall piece, and it crushed you. So you were found badly crushed. But you got a coffin already, so you're doing better than some of the dwarves. You're not going to have a chance to come back as a ghost and haunt me. Which is definitely for the best. So I'm going to leave these on fire at will. And the reason I'm going to do this is it's going to train them up, and they're also going to have stacks of boulders right here. So we're going to slowly start stacking up boulders. I apologize, Boreas. If it makes you feel any better, I feel bad about it. I regret the whole thing. Did I really just make the... Okay, you know what? Let's just get rid of those. Having a rather friend tamed animals and all. I once had a ghost that thought it was still part of my military, carried a sword around, and then left with my military on a mission, killed people on the mission, and then came back and then just vanished. And apparently died on a mission initially. So went out, died in battle while fighting with my dwarves, and then went out on the next mission until and eventually like died on that other like just didn't come back. It was one of the coolest things I've ever had happen, and I'm completely convinced it was an absolute, just 100% a bug. But it was super cool that it happened. There was something kind of incredible about it. It's like, oh, wow, that dwarf just, like, came back after fighting in the military and dying. But true freak, Boreas has risen. All right. What kind of dwarf am I giving to Boreas? Son of Boreas. Maybe I should just call him Son of Boreas. By whoever they raided? Oh, yeah, probably something like that. It would have been even cooler if we were able to take over something with that squad. And, then he then that ghost became like, if only we were able to successfully take over something with that squad, with that ghost as the leader of the squad, because then they'd become the Baron of that location. But true freak, planter, you say? Okay, we'll call this planter Son of Boreas. I don't have a bearded planter, though. Well. Daughter of Boreas. How's that? She never feels hatred towards anyone or anything and finds helping others to be emotionally rewarding, thinks she is fairly important in the grand scheme of things, and doesn't seek out excitement. She is curious and eager to learn, and she isn't given to flights of fancy. She has a tendency to go it alone without considering the advice of others and is somewhat uncomfortable around those that appear unusual or live differently from herself. Bobtron, hello! That's going all right. She is somewhat uncomfortable around those that appear unusual or live differently or live differently from herself. She enjoys the company of others, and she is pleased by her own appearance and talents, and she tries to say nice things, and she tries to keep her things orderly. Generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity and can handle stress. She snaps her fingers repeatedly and chews her cheek when she's bored, and stiffens up when she's surprised, and talks very quickly when she's nervous. Needs alcohol to get through the working day. Doesn't really care about anything anymore. Boreas, thanks for gifting out a sub. Appreciate you. She dreams of creating a great work of art and personally deeply values introspection and finds romance to be important in life. Finds leisure time wasteful and dreams of creating a great work of art. She likes bauxite, bronze, and tapazolite. and jaguar men for their spotted coats. And the words of the page of aquamarine and a section of cavern has collapsed again. And when possible, she prefers to consume gray parrot and beetroot wine and absolutely hates purring maggots. I haven't had beetroot wine, but I have had a beet mead before. First off, it was pink, like very pink. But primarily, it was like kind of savory. All I would say is that I would very much recommend beet mead if you ever get the opportunity to drink some. It was very tasty. It was a very, very tasty beverage. And welcome back, Wakapepe. Enjoy those emotes. Courtesy of Boreas. I've had a lot of people say recently that my emotes are some of their favorites, so humble brag, I suppose. But it's going all right, Bob. It's good to have you around as always. Today's been a little slow, but not unpleasant. So no complaints. Let's do rock crates. Sure, just 10 will be fine. But I think I'm going to make them all out of the same material. Make them all out of microcline. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number that we'll need. I didn't go camping. I went on a hike. It rained. That's basically it. I haven't been camping in a while, actually. And my camping trips aren't particularly exciting. It's generally just we go to a place that we know, and we sleep outside, and then we go home. Like, we're not super adventurous campers, really. And there isn't much in the way of craziness that happens, especially in the winter. In the summer, you get some more craziness, but it's usually just like, the neighbors were loud. So, not to make myself seem boring, but generally, my camping trips are pretty calm. Like, some people go, to a spa for the weekend when they need to cheer themselves up. I go sleep outside. Fort tour? Well, it's a really big hole in the ground that I need to dig down further, but I haven't been because it's about to hit the aquifer, so it's a really big hole in the ground. Up here we have kind of the main courtyard that's completely surrounded by very cheerful coffins. I have this walkway here, which is going to have just spikes all the way along here at the bottom. The spikes will be controlled by a minecart, which is going to zip around here, powered by this windmill. This is the main entryway, which goes down into here. And then this is the main fort itself. We have tavern and dining hall, library, and top half of library that isn't done, and then other dining hall. We have guild halls, guild hall, tiny little archery ranges. Holy shit, is actually working. Amazing. Okay, cool. Probably because there's actually a full stack of iron bolts there. Anyway, this dwarf is actually training. Look at that. Ain't that wild? Anyway, it's probably never going to do that again. Anyway, we have a barracks with 2 squads training. This area is very dense. We've got multi-layered bedrooms, tiny little dormitory at the end, several different like other things. And then down here, we go down to the lower cavern layer that's just like, you know, full of cobwebs and stuff. That's basically it. Not too much more aside from that. It's because they don't normally do that, the whole training thing. And also, it's the first time I've seen them training since I assigned them. It's like they've had the job for quite some time and they just haven't been doing it, so it's kind of crazy to see it. Well, you're going to go worship now. I mean, I would too if I was in the military. And we're also desperately trying to make a ton of clothing right there. I think I might just make a collection of clothing shops back here to increase the speed of the clothing output. I'm doing caps this time for the first time in ever. I'm not certain I like the way they look. They look kind of funky to me. Somebody must have gotten stuck somewhere. The game got slow for a second there. Oh, did they, did it melt when the summer rolled around? Lich King of Dead? Because if it's a particularly cold location, that'll definitely happen. Yeah, no, I definitely had one time where I was building on a glacier, and so we settled. It wasn't my. Oh, that's probably why the game was lagging, is because those were showing up. It wasn't my first fort in that world, so because of this, because of it not being the first fort in the world, it took a little while for it to roll around to springtime. So we started the fort, I want to say in like early autumn or something. And it was on a glacier. And I was like, awesome, we're on this glacier. There's, I mean, it'll probably stay frozen, right? Anyway, so I was like building all this stuff and we dug a little quarry and we were like building on top of this glacier. And then spring rolled around and everybody died because the whole glacier melted. Like 80% of the map turned into ocean and everybody instantly died. It was very funny. All right, Zenag, you're going to want to run here because we've got... we're being attacked by Batmen and Bat. This was a long time ago, and I was very, very new at the game and had no idea what I was doing, so... But yeah, no, it was still funny. It was a learning experience. I mean, it's just like everybody floods their fort with a creek once. Exactly, fried onions. That always is such a scary... Oh my god. Look at them all mounted. Like... Here comes my axe dwarf, right? Right behind them is shark jumping walrus. They're just completely surrounded. There's so many of them. Oh my lordy. They're sitting on giant olms and giant toads, which is pretty cool, actually. And some of them on crocodiles, yeah. The rest on, like, olms and toads. Some fool. What kind of... Unless it's some fui, but I think it's some fool. What kind of dwarf would you like? Man, this is some good training, though. Zon over here, Darius, is in a martial trance. Actually, like, everybody's in martial trances. I mean, they're just shooting bolts at us. The Axe Dwarf hacks at the giant toad in the rear leg with a battle axe and severing the muscle. Axe Dwarf kicks the giant toad in the head with his right foot, bruising the muscle. The Axe Dwarf hacks... I already selected that one. The Axe Dwarf strikes at the Batwoman, but the attack is blocked by a tower cap shield. The Batwoman Spearman says, I have a part in this. This might require an answer, and attacks the Axe Dwarf, but he jumps away. I wish we could just be friends. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? We just push them back. This is our home now. They'll never take it from us. Shark jumping walrus has been found dead. Shark jumping walrus's last words were, after fighting with multiple creatures and gaining possessions, Batman Blowgunner strikes him in the upper leg. A giant Olms grabs him by the front leg, and then shark jumping walrus bites the giant Olm in the right front foot, tearing the muscle. He latches on firmly and then dies. I'm not actually sure. He was just biting. Oh, I see. He got bit by a giant cave toad pretty bad. Ah, okay. Must have bled out. A mace dwarf? I probably have swords dwarf. I think both my mace dwarves are named. I can take a look though. Yeah, so he got bit real bad on the neck and also on the leg by a giant cave toad. So he died of blood loss, yeah. Rest in peace, you were a good dwarf. Also, Elfie Bean is seriously injured, and so is Esteth. I think, that was a pretty hefty fight, though, admittedly. Oh, there's still more of them. I'm gonna try and send him forward one more time. Zhang, the bone doctor, has been found dead. Seems like we lost a doctor. So see if we can aggro the last few of them. Okay. Let's take a look. Or actually, hold on. It's going to be hard for me to tell you who is what right now. I got a lady mace dwarf, if that's okay. To some fool. I have a male axe dwarf. They're also all pissed, probably because of the fighting that just happened. Sure? Okay. You're a glazer by as your day job, too. Oopsies. Where'd you go? Some fool does not trust others. She almost never feels discouraged and has an overinflated sense of self-worth. The game's frame rate is falling down into oblivion, and I'm saddened by this. She almost never feels discouraged, and she has an overinflated sense of self-worth. She feels strong urges and seeks short-term rewards, and is prone to hatreds and often develops negative feelings. There we go. Frame rate returneth. She is often cheerful, and she can occasionally lose focus on the matter at hand, and she is curious and eager to learn and isn't particularly ambitious, and she tends to be passive in discussions. She tends to be a little tight with resources when working on projects and tends to do things correctly each time. She likes to take it easy and bites her nails when she gets bored and needs alcohol to get through the working day. There's still fighting going on, apparently. Hold up. She dreams of mastering a skill and personally sees engaging in commerce as a high ideal in life, sees war as a useful means to an end, and sees competition as wasteful and silly, and sees introspection as important. She likes talc, nickel, and lapis lazuli, colored bronze and warhammers and leggings and weapon racks, and dark horrors for their macabre ways, and the words of the page of aquamarine, and when possible prefers to consume crab and mead. I approve of both of those things, and hates mosquitoes. Me too. Her ears are fused lobed and her nose bridge is convex. Her quite long eyebrows are high. Her brass eyes are slightly rounded. Her nose is slightly hooked. Her medium length hair is neatly combed. Her head is somewhat tall and her hair is black and her skin is pale chestnut. Welcome to the fort. That doesn't bode well for the injured. What, that there's more fights to be had? I mean, it's not the worst. Fortunately, we do have plenty of coffins. Fortunately. Hey, frame rate, I miss you. You want to come back? Oh, the dead doctor? Oh, that's fine. There's more where that came from. Doctor's also not necessarily like... It does not necessarily imply that they're the only doctor, but... I can go double check that. Nope, was not my only doctor. Also not the doctor that was assigned to the hospital, so... We got dwarves giving stitches. We got dwarves cleaning wounds. Elfie Bean's getting tended to. Needs her name back. Frame rate's on vacation. Well, hopefully it has a nice vacation and comes back soon, because god damn it, I miss it already. It literally is coming back. I'm out of wood. Elfie has not died, so yes, Elfie does in fact live currently. Send them down to go kill that, because I need to hack down more trees. Which is probably what's actually pissing off the Cavern critters so much down here. Not to mention all the collection of webs. Okay. Is it mini you or pixel you? Okay, looks like we've taken out the last one that was remaining. This is a messy cave. Messy, messy cave. Well, let's get all this crap up here done. We are felling trees already, which is good to see. which means pretty safely I can do this. So, right here, I'm going to build a piece of flooring that goes right to there. Just going to use nice. And then along the wall here, I'm going to do this. And this shouldn't have anything covering them, so this should be a pretty effective source of power, I would assume. Please don't use closest material. Doo-doo-doo. Let's get all that cleared. So this is all going to be built together into our, mist generator for the surface. Frame rate's basically back to where I want it to be. Still not perfect, but it's better than nothing. I'm going to place floor gate grates in a bunch of these spots as they get constructed. And then this one can be just left. The wagons can enter through that way. That can be removed. All right, not bad. So, chat, if we play some more King Under the Mountain today, would you guys prefer to see a fresh start in King Under the Mountain or continuing the save file from Monday? The quest for booze would continue. Because we still haven't managed to successfully make booze in that game yet. Or trade, for that matter. Or rather, Mountain Core, not King Under the Mountain. One of these days I will remember what that game is actually called. So 2 for continues? All right. To be fair, we're not particularly far into that game either way. Force that is dark and vile has arrived. Once again, pain in the butt. Where is it, though? Vile force of darkness in the chat, please. Hey, vile force of free armor. You know? I mean, come on. Vile force of bows to melt down. Big fan. Vile force of free resources. Vile force of soon-to-be-dead goblins. Vile force of more attempted child thieves. Vile force of, get 'em, dwarves. I hope Elfie Bean's up and moving. Bottom squad needs better gear. Like, badly. I don't know how that goblin made it that far. They're at the corner. They are fighting. No dwarves have died just yet. We're following Lenarno, who is stressed, but seems to be doing rather well all the same. Lenarno currently has actually killed Clasp through the Batwoman. A notable kill. Very proud for any dwarf to complete such a feat. Seems like arrows are flying. Darius runs up through the army, is quite stressed, is having a rough time of things, but is able to take out a good number of goblins. That's at least 3. I mean, come on, 46 total kills. I don't blame this dwarf for having, like, some stress in their life. I mean, they've killed 46 things. Also, they appear to have gained some sort of injuries. That or they're just standing over top of one of their successful kills. Begin moving north, chasing away the remaining goblins, screaming, "You shall not pass." Shall let the dwarves head back downstairs, I think. Hobbles into battle. Let's get the free goblinite. Well, I mean, it's not free. It costs dwarven mental health, that's for sure. Also, if you notice a bunch of construction jobs are all forbidden, just go into this screen here and just go unforbid, 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 unforbid. It'll save you a lot of clicks. You actually went into a martial trance in that battle, so didn't affect you much. How much power is this going to take? 92? Okay, I know that's nothing. I mean, it would be nice. I don't know what they're going to add, so I'm not going to speculate, but re-enable all tasks would be a nice button. I would be quite happy if they added that button. Maybe a good night's sleep, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the dwarves that are actually stressed in this fort are stressed due to not having bedrooms. So there is that. That and also just having to haul bodies in general. I need that one final construction there to be done. You love how I sound like an NFL commentator when I fight. I mean, it's not necessarily the goal, but I think that's kind of the natural way of things when commentating a fight, you know? It's kind of hard to not fall into that kind of sound. All right, so if I just pop up this tool, down here is where the aquifer starts. So I could totally smooth this down one more layer, but if I do, I have to, what's the word? When I smooth it down a layer, I'm gonna have to immediately smooth all the walls or it's just gonna flood itself. Which would not be good. I got that mad VA skill. I got one voice acting gig once. It wasn't paid, and I don't think I did a particularly good job, so I don't know if I would say mad. A water buffalo cow is starving. Oh no. That's all. You're supposed to all be set to prepare to fire. Or fire at will, rather. I don't know who Will is, but we're going to fire at him. Vote for blind for the main cast of the next Witcher game. I don't think that's up to a vote. I think I would have to be like somebody who actually has an agent who's looking for gigs for me, which I don't, and I'm not, so. But no, I mean, just looking at the general happiness of the dwarves, it's like most of the most pissed off dwarves are all like in the military. But I'm just going to remove all of these from normal jobs and just let them go chill. Maybe I'll give them... Like clothes making is a good hobby for dwarves. So custom detail 1 can call them clothes makers. Clothes maker. So anybody who doesn't have tasks assigned and also doesn't have a pickaxe assigned is just going to get that. Because it's a task that has a lot of work that needs doing. And they need to be doing tasks that are crafty. Send them on a short trip to the Necrodant Tower? I mean, that would be a really big waste of a bunch of dwarves. I'd rather keep my dwarves happy. I mean, if that's how you want to run your forts, be my guest. But that's not how I run my forts. Especially because that would just bring necromancers here, and that wouldn't be optimal. That would kind of be the opposite, in fact. I really like the mushroom log windmills. They look super cool. The color variance is fun. No, the no digging fort died. That was Danger Caves. This is Meatpit. This is the only channels fort. Only ramps. I can't dig diagonally or dig stairs. I can construct stairs, but aside from that, all I can do is ramps. So that's why everything is at least 2 layers tall. And there's a lot of ramps everywhere. The no digging fort completed its goal. If you want to see the history of that, or the brief history, exclamation point last fort. But yeah, no, I would appreciate an enable all tasks button. It'd be cool if we could get that. All right, well, this is going to generate more than enough power. We just need this to be done. No, it's 50% off for the first month. If you're going to make an OnlyFans joke, at least get it right. Come on. Free demos on the free variant. Yes. Quit asking me. Reason I clicked that button. What are you hauling? Giant cave toad skeleton. Well. I like how Matt Damon's upper right mangled arm is just sitting there. Poor, poor Matt Damon. There's corpses. How do you make task-locked people stop derping in place, or is your game fucked because your fisher got stuck? I have no idea what caused your fisher to get stuck. They shouldn't just stop working as you describe it. So I'm not sure what caused that, nor am I sure how to uncause that, because I don't know what you did to cause that. So, apologies, but I'm not entirely sure what you've done in the first place. But they shouldn't get stuck. Like, there isn't... That's not really how the game works. They don't just get stuck in place unless you've got a weird burrows set up or there's something that's causing them to cancel moving, which would be like something's trying to attack them. It could be an aggravated bird above them. If it's a fisher dwarf and they're outside, it could be any non-neutral entity that they're trying to fight with that's on the surface. But if a dwarf is just like stuck, paralyzed, not moving, it means they're either trying to combat with something or they're trying to path somewhere they can't get to. So... or folks are trying to gather herbs on the other side. Like I said, I have no idea what you've done to get that dwarf stuck, so. That's like not an easy thing for me to just be like, yeah, you do this, because I'm not actually sure what you've done to cause that. This dwarf is hauling items. Is anybody filling pond? Fill pond. Fill pond. There we go. Fill pond. That's taken you a long time to fill that bucket. It's every last person. Sounds like there's something trying to fight with your character. Do you have aggravated birds or anything on your map? Because to me that just sounds like you've either got a burrow screwed up or there's some non-neutral entity trying to fight with your dwarves. That's what that sounds like to me, but I could be wrong. But dwarves don't just stop moving, so there's something that's blocking them. Which is also something that's being fixed in the next version, but not the beta build, the version after. Make military draft and undraft? Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what would cause that. I don't run into problems like that. But I also have this issue where, like, I've played so much of this game that I just, like, fix things on default. Like, I just know how to fix a problem already by the time I see the problem. So it's just like, okay, I have this problem. I just fix the problem. So when people are just like, I have this roundabout issue that I'm running into, it's almost impossible for me to diagnose it because... if I don't know what your problem is in the first place, I can't really sort it out for you. And also just like all capsing in my chat doesn't really help. Run, raise, choke, by the way. It's good to see you. Yes. Okay, so nobody is going to go fill that pond. All right, fine. We'll place a second pond. I wonder if it's because of the grate. I kind of feel like they should fill pond regardless of if there's a grate. Oh, where it was pathing blocked? Also, who was it earlier that was saying that bucket filling jobs, like, just gets them stuck? Because I appear to be having that now, too. They seem to be incapable of filling a pond with a partially full bucket. Still doesn't work? Yep. Well, let's just chuck that bucket. Make new buckets. Try that. Because I'm just making some new buckets. So there's an old bug in the game, right? And the old bug is if a bucket is 50% or like if a bucket is less than completely full, they can't use it for tasks. It's a bug that's been in the game for quite some time. So the thing in the patch notes was them trying to fix that. So they can use them now. And in some cases, it seems like they do use them. But can I... Dumb question. Can I dump water out of a bucket? Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Hey, Clino. How's things? Having issues with buckets currently. I guess I could just use DF hack, actually. Hold on. Empty bin. Fix dry buckets. I mean, certainly didn't empty it. Emptied 2 buckets. There you go. Let's try this now. Yeah, nobody's doing it currently. It may also be what's... Oh, yeah, true. We did have a bunch of dwarves die of dehydration in the hospital today, didn't we? Interesting. I blamed it on a drying up water source, which is why I went and made a well, but... I wonder. But anyway. Kind of quiet over here. Not a huge crowd today in comparison to the past few months. So, a little bit quiet. Been better, been worse. Just, you know, eagerly waiting on that SDL2 update after hearing what Putnam had to say about it. Make new buckets? I've literally made 10 more. I'm waiting for them to make them. I queued them up not too long ago. Before I did the manual clear of the buckets. But I don't know if it's going to work, though. It has been a minute, Pablo. How's things? Yeah, just nobody's picked up the fill pit pond job. I wonder if it's because there's a grate there. Let's just get rid of the grate. Maybe that's canceling it. Yes, I would like to get rid of it. Stop asking. Hell yeah, dude. Very happy for you. Better late than never, eh? Oh. None of them are really happying up. Late 30s are lit. I don't know about that. I haven't gotten that far yet. We'll report when I get there. Oh, do you have a noble that turned up? I appreciate your positivity and uplifting statements, Bucket Glass. That I'm throwing stuff into... Well, I mean, I have a really big hole. And we keep getting attacked by mounted batmen. So, you know, it's been pretty good. And all of these coffins are dedicated to dwarves already. A lot of the bodies burned, so. I don't really appreciate the, yo, you're gonna lose statements in my chat, so. You know, like, I like chat activity, I like talking with chat, but if I just see, like, yo, you're gonna lose now, it's like, You know, it's the, if you can't say something nice kind of statement, you know? And then you guess his parents died? Well, that's kind of cool. That doesn't happen super often. Yeah, exactly. No, I just want to achieve my goal. I want to kill the king again. I need the next king to show up so I can kill him too. But, you know, we've also had minimal tantrum spirals, so it's actually been pretty stable, all things considered. But we all good. I mean, if you want to poke fun, poke fun. You're just not always going to get a positive response from the old streamer. Throw him into the meat pit. Off a catapult. Or something. Just trying to get rid of this dwarf. Which is kind of a shame. Them and their daughter died. What a sad tale. Named a workshop and you're looking for what? Lamp cloth, rough gems, bones. Probably bones. Well, everybody lost the game. And you want to know why? Because anybody who's still participating in the games deserves to lose the game. If you make the personal mistake of taking that stuff seriously enough to lose, then, yeah, you deserve to lose. Who still cares about the game in the current year? No, I'm not talking about the rapper. But also, who cares about the game as in the rapper in the current year? Yeah, there's definitely some bucket weirdness going on right now. So I guess what was happening with this bucket earlier is it had two different types of water in it. It had water 8 and then had water 2. So it was actually full. So it did in fact get used to be filled, but it couldn't be filled all the way because it had two different waters in it. That is a very strange concept to me. It's like it had two different individually tracked sets of 10 water in it. So while it did let them fill it a second time, I guess they can't fill it all the way, so they need to be able to partially refill buckets. Oh boy. Also, something that's weird about those combat dwarves that are all super stressed that Bucket Glass has been so quick to point out is while they might be super stressed, like they have the angry mad face, very few of them actually, what's the word I'm looking for here? Very few of them actually have the stressed icon when you click on them. So like in this screen, they'll be red mad face, right? But then, like, you'll select them, and it'll be, like, healthy. And, like, no indication that they're super upset. So I don't know what's up with that. Like, this dwarf experienced trauma, but generally is quite happy? Like, was frightened after being haunted by the dead, but, like, doesn't have the stressed icon there. Which is weird. Yeah, certainly items don't stack. Well, they do, sometimes. All right, well, this will help pretty dramatically, I think. From different sources? Oh, yeah, most certainly. It's liquids from different sources. No. Anyway, this will help quite dramatically, I would think. I'm also just going to station my squad here for a minute. We're just going to force my squads into standing here in the fountain. Go stand in the fountain for a minute, guys. Actually, you know what? I should just make this into where they train. Oh, hell yeah, to the Flexstone find. Speaking of, I have 47 steel bars. What stuffs does my soldiers need? That's the question. Okay, well, we all need pants, which would be steel leggings? Cheer up, you moist, pointy weapon stabbers. Steel leggings? Yes. Let's do 20 steel leggings, steel helm, 10, and steel breastplate, 10. How does this fountain work? Magic. Of Dwarven physics. So these pumps pick up water that is right below them, right? So essentially what they do is there is 2 of 7 water here. If I hit pause if I jump forward a couple of individual frames, maybe I can catch it in a spot where you can see it. So there's 2 water here, right? The water falls down to the ground, and then immediately it gets picked up by the next one while it's in midair, and then teleported to the next side, to which point it then falls down, and then is immediately picked up, to which point it then falls down, and then is immediately picked up, and it just spins in circles around here. And it touches the ground briefly, and each time it falls, it creates mist. So essentially, it's a small amount of water being propelled around in a circle, and each time it is over open space, it sprays mist everywhere. Certain weapons are better against certain targets. Iron Bull. So blunt weapons are better against... blunt weapons are far better against undead than sharp weapons. Sharp weapons are bad against undead, not because they're bad, but because sharp weapons spread around the enemy. Basically, they go all cutty, and when you cut undead into more undead, they become more undead. So you don't really want to be doing that if you can avoid it. Sharp weapons are good against enemies that bleed. Heavy weapons are good against enemies with armor. Sharp weapons aren't as good against enemies with armor unless the weapon is sharper than the armor is dense. So like swords, like steel is good against copper, but steel swords aren't good against like steel armor. So you'd want like either adamantine swords or silver hammers against heavy armor. Apparently, axes have a better accuracy score if the dwarf is good with it versus... Where did you come from? There's a human axeman in my fort. Well, that's intriguing. Axes are better than swords if the dwarf is completely trained in it, but they are worse than swords if they're not expertly trained with it. My personal favorites are axes, hammers, or swords, hammers, and spears. But here's the thing. Adamantine swords are really good, but an adamantine hammer is bad because swords and like spears and axes damage is based on sharpness of the material, whereas like blunt weapons are based on the weight. So adamantine is a really good sharp material. It's not a particularly good heavy material because it weighs about as much as balsa wood. So basically, if you make a short sword of adamantine, yeah, or an axe out of adamantine, yeah, it'll be great. If you make a hammer out of adamantine, it's going to bounce off his target and do no damage. Pickaxes are also pretty good weapons, but you can't assign them to soldiers by default. You have to manually do it. They won't pick them up and use them as weapons. Picks will cleave limbs off everything, but they're still not the best thing. I don't know how much I would necessarily recommend you use picks as weapons. What in the world is this catapult setup? Me just being a goofball, mostly. It's also very unfinished. I don't know how much of it I'll finish, but we'll see. And I'm aware I put one way further up. That's fine. I hope it's before 2036. I'll be bankrupt if it takes till 2036. But I don't know. It'd be nice. Scoops. I don't know, actually, Baka. I've never looked at the wiki. Keeping an eye on the overall mood. Yeah, well, please don't say it's going to take till 2036, because that just gives me anxiety. Jokes aside, though, hope it doesn't take till 2036. But do I reckon that there won't be another explosion of people streaming Dwarf Fort when Adventure Mode drops? It would be nice. I hope so. Yeah, that's about it. It'd be nice, and I hope so. I hope there would be another explosion of people streaming Dwarf Fort when SDL2 comes out and the frame rate gets better. But also at the same time, I don't care. I'll be here regardless. I just hope there's still some people crazy enough to watch Dwarf Fort in 6 months. Great men make great piles of picks at least half the time. One of your random weavers goes into collect webs and a giant cave spider drops down and they lodge the pick in the head. Yep. I'd be doing that right now if I had a bigger supply of materials, but I'm kind of focusing on weapons right now and actually trying to kit out my dwarves properly. Is there a reason you're not sliding? But no, honestly, like, what I think's going to happen is every update there will be a slow trickle. Like, I've already seen some streamers returning. And by returning, I mean people that, you know, have more than 10 viewers. Like, if I look at the Dwarf Fortress directory right now, there's me with a much lower view count than normal, sad face. There's Goobers, who's apparently streaming Dwarf Fort, but it looks like he's actually playing Dark Souls. Sal's on, and there's a few other people on. So, it's not like there's nobody streaming Dwarf Fort these days. There's more than there was previously. And I think it's just going to kind of be like that. Every couple of major updates, a few new people will pick the game up and a few people will come back. And it's just going to be like that going forward. Will there be another explosion of like 40,000 concurrent people watching Dwarf Fort? I don't think that'll ever happen again. I would like it to happen again, but I don't expect it to. A Jasper bed, hey? That can't be comfortable. There's no way that's comfortable. It's gonna menace with spikes, too. This is a picture jasper bed. All craft store ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with round, nice cabochons. Well, okay. And decorated with wolf leather. Okay. Black cap, all right. And encircled with bands of cushioned microcline cabochons. Trifle pewter and pigtail. And this object is adorned with hanging rings of jasper. Of picture jasper. And menaces with spikes of picture jasper and pig bone. Jasper's really soft? Says who? Exactly. Because, like, I don't know anybody who says that. I think I'm gonna give that to the barracks, in fact. Hey, some of them have moved to slightly less than pissed. Yeah, I don't know what's up with all these dwarves. Wait, what? Why is there a body right there? Oh, I know why. Because the door is locked still, isn't it? Uh-oh. Darn cavern dwellers! Of course, it's the bat people once again. There's quite a few here. You can see the webs disappearing. See? There's Urvad. Oh, run away, Urvad. This is a scary place for you to be, Urvad. You may want to get out of this place, Urvad. This is a dangerous place. There's Batman out there. Okay. Goodbye, Urvad. Nice knowing you, Urvad. They are enthusiastic. It's a good thing I've nerfed them. Here comes Lenarno. Yeah, these are like straight up normal sieges worths of dudes. Like, there is good numbers of them, and there's they show up pretty constantly. To the point where I feel like I should just be setting up controls. At least this dwarf is like satisfied upon improving everything, but is overexerted, which means survival is a tricky thing when overexerted, and good lord, that seems bad. Rest in peace, Lenarno, militia captain. Really? Oh, it's a blob composed of ash. I'm terrified. The forgotten beast, Ash Ketchum, Ognor Olzolgason, is come, a gigantic blob composed of ash. It has a long, straight tail, and it squirms and fidgets. We should have called this fort Messy Caverns. Oh, hold on. Did they just kill it? Hold on. I think, yep, they just killed it. Yep, they killed it. The bad people killed it. It showed up and the bad people were like, dead! Ah! You bad... Anyway. So I have no squad leader anymore. I can be Monom now. We've got some more winded dwarves down here. Stabby, Aegis here is stressed but fighting. Aegis has lost his shield somewhere, because I don't think he named it. How many kills are you at? 45, my guy. 45. How about this dwarf here? 10. Catch up, you noob. We're gonna lose more dwarves, aren't we? I think we need a bigger army. Is there any particular reason I can't select the top one? Okay, I can now. We lost Integer, we lost Fath, Aloth, Asob. No, you didn't stutter, but they are hurting my frame rate. Yeah, I don't have enough gear is the problem, Montecore. At least not enough gear to make coordinated good squads. They'd all be using shit. It's like I have like no materials in this map. It's like I finally have a little surplus of steel, but like... Also, it seems like everybody's just injured, and so there's nothing I can really do. And there's even more, apparently. Game, pause, please. Thank you. Hold on a second. Well, actually, let's just do this. I'm not going to exterminate. I just want to know how many there are. 43 Batmen. There's 22 amphibian men? That explains where my frame rate went. Well. So, on the map, there's currently 40-something Batmen. Build a bat signal? No. I just need to nerf bat people again, apparently. I wonder if the, because they shouldn't be able to spawn in such large numbers currently in this map. Like, they just shouldn't be able to. So my suspicion is that the beta version reset my settings. So that instead of them only being able to show up 5 at a time, they're showing up 50 at a time. I'm gonna go check that because, yep, that seems to be the case. Which is quite annoying, actually. I still don't really like the Cavern stuff. I don't think it's particularly fun of a mechanic. Yeah, okay, it did reset it. I mean, DFX been working on the Steam for a while. Okay, I need to pee real bad. Fuck this invasion for a sec. Be right back.
Let's take a lovely fruit, the tomato, remove everything that's good from it, the seeds, the vitamins, the nutrients, everything that's good about it, and just jam it full of shit garbage shit sugar, and put it in a shit bottle that sounds like shit when you put it on your shit. It's shit! Stop eating ketchup!
So I'm making the executive decision to exterminate the Batmen. I think that's how you do that. Okay. Bat_men. All right. It's not going to entirely fix the problem, but the fact that we're just getting murked by that, I'm not too fond of. It's Tilda. Exterminate the Batman. Yeah, Bane would be proud. I still have to clean up all these bodies. Like, this ain't easy, but while I'm at it, let's see if I can spell amphibian right. Exterminated 8. All right. Now we can just deal with this mess. Dwarves, you guys go back to training. I mean, it's just a meme, Lich King of the Dead. But you are pretty dome. So the way I had this set up previously was that I could only get hit by small numbers of cavern creatures, which I don't mind. I think that they're kind of fun. But when they come in numbers like that, it's just like, the fact that they're all just stealthed all the time, I'm not a fan. If they just weren't stealthed, I wouldn't care. It's the fact that they're stealthed the whole time, because it's just like, well, cool. I don't know that they're coming, and there's nothing that I can really do about them when they get here. And it's just like guaranteed dead civvies every time. And it's like, come on. Just... Like, I like the Forgotten Beasts. Those are fun. I like the Kinder Surprise Eggs. Those are fun. I even like the Cavern Dwellers. I just don't like them surprise out of fucking nowhere. Here's 50 of them. Good luck. That, like, if they were just a normal Vile Force of Darkness, I wouldn't mind them, but it's the fact that I can't prep for them that's like, I will fight them in small numbers, and if the game resets my settings like that, then I'm just going to exterminate them. It's because I have my tavern closed. Don't like visitors, they just steal my artifacts. And there isn't enough ways to stop them from stealing your artifacts right now. So I just disable them. Kinder Surprise Eggs. Yeah, the little cubes full of gems that have demons inside of them sometimes. All right, well, let's find dwarves with no current job and get them in the military. You dream of mastering a skill. Alrighty there, bud. I mean, I don't need perfect security or anything, but it's certainly nice to not, you know, have to completely rehabilitate your fort every 20 minutes. What's up, Kano? Thanks for the 5th month. Welcome back. 'Tis good to have you. I hope you've been well. Dreams of crafting a masterwork someday, attaining a rank in society. Finds tranquility to be important. Well, if you want to attain a rank in society, go grab a sword. Leader of this squad. You're a competent wrestler. I'll give it to you. Novice Hammer Dwarf? Sure. Because, like, so if you don't want... Here's the thing, right? If you don't want, like, mercenaries or visitors, you just simply hit Z, right? Go to your tavern and just say citizens and long-term residents only, right? If you click this button, then you can get visitors. I just don't like visitors. It doesn't matter. Like, they can be vampires, they can be were-creatures, they can be there to steal my stuff. It's like one shitty adventurer can ruin my whole fort, and I don't consider that to be fun. Like, there's losing is fun, and then there's just this is frustrating, right? You have no idea what I'm saying? Well, my bad. No, they can't. Suited. That was unrelated. Seemed like they could bug the game, but no. No, that bug was unrelated. Let's get some novice wrestlers in here. Adequate fighters. Not particularly. like genuinely. So. But long story short, I don't like having visitors in my fort because they steal my artifacts and can be were-creatures. Were-creatures in your tavern can just end your fort, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. So whenever I make temples and taverns, I click this button. Same with libraries and guild halls, which is just citizens and long-term residents only, and it stops all visitors. I would rather have a fort that I have control over when it ends because that's actually fun, instead of having to, you know, deal with bads that I have no control over. So, I don't consider that to be a fun mechanic. Yeah, currently they're more trouble than they're worth. They can be awesome, but, like, I'm not going to lose a whole fort to some fucking random mercenary who's here to kill things, who then just turns into a were-tapir and starts biting people in my tavern at random. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun, nor entertaining, nor a mechanic I ever want to deal with. Yeah, that too. Also, like, having to make clothes human size is just, nah. Thanks, hard pass on that shit. Oh, no, absolutely. Like, you can be like, all right, I have 2 humans in my fort. Sweet. So instead of making, like, full sets of clothes for all my dwarves, I also need to make trousers, cloth trousers, sure, and then go into here and then specify size and then say human. Yeah, no thanks. And then say you also have 12 different animal people and a cat person in your fort. Yeah, no thanks. I'm good. Having to do that level of micromanagement for all the different characters that can hang around. Yeah, no thanks. No, thank you. Also, I'm going to make a barracks up here. And get these guys training up here. But they're going to store their stuff and sleep in the lower one. I don't even know what that is. Latch King of Dead. I'm assuming that's a mod. I'd like it if you had a high tavern keeper with high social and you can find suspicious dwarves. I mean, there's so many different things that the game could do, but the game doesn't, right? So it's like, yeah, I would like something like that too, right? Or like a captain of the guard that actually like here's the actual issue, right? If a creature is picking up an item and walking away with it, the dwarves don't consider that theft, right? So if you have an artifact on a pedestal and some rando walks into your fort and picks the item up off the pedestal, that's not theft. They don't consider that to be theft. All right? Also, I didn't even see these dudes walking in. What the fuck? So I don't, like, they don't consider that to be theft, right? That is not theft according to them. When that is considered theft, I will allow dwarves into my fort. Or I will allow visitors again. And also when they fix the, what's it called? I'm just completely mind blanking. When they fix the tavern, or where creatures not being able to just walk into your tavern. When they fix those two things, I will start doing that. You make mine carts in like any, either the woodworker shop or a metalsmith's forge. They're either made out of wood or they're made out of metal. Yeah, so have I, Elfie Bean. Like, people need to realize that these are issues that have been in the game for like 4 or 5 years now. Like, since 2020, actually, is how long these issues have been in the game. So, for a lot of you who've been playing the game for like 5 months, I've been playing this, like, various versions of this game with these same issues for 4 or 5 years. So there's some things that I just, like, do out of habit because, like, I'm not going to deal with that. Like, fuck that. That some of you might be like, oh, why don't you do it this way? It's like, well, because I've tried every possible workaround and this is just easier and more fun for me, so. Well, you can stand on it as much as you want. I will walk around it carefully. Clino. If we could save sets of work orders, that wouldn't be so bad. Yep. Yeah. Well, I know you can macro them, but I don't like doing that. Because then I macro all my typos, and it's like... It's just fuck having visitors. Yeah, no, totally. Be an anti-social twit. Boot everybody out of your fort. No visitors. I'm getting so many emails about 420 sales right now. It's not even funny. So many emails. It's like I get more emails around 420 than I do around Christmas. Does somebody want to go tell Goobers that he's streaming in the wrong direction? Okay, now, never mind. He fixed it. Because he's been streaming in, according to this, he's still streaming Dwarf, right? But if you click on his stream, it's Dark Souls. So he has swapped to the Dark Souls directory, but for some reason, Twitch thinks he's still in this directory, which is like, Goobers, please. Actually, it's more like Twitch, please. So, Kleno, did you hear the bit in the chat I put up with Putnam where she says that she got an 80% frame rate bump? Thanks for the $3.69. My Twitch categories view has been giving odd results for at least a couple of weeks, really showing people in the wrong categories. Really? Huh. When I'm assuming they're not in the wrong category. That's odd. I hope they fix that, because that kind of sucks. Fort Souls time? I mean, Dwarf Fortress is the Dark Souls of something. I don't know where I'm going with this. Also, I haven't seen anybody with a subwoofer badge in a while. Shoutouts to FFZ. The only, like, plugin I actually like to see. Minesweeper? Yes. Anyway. There's got to be a Minesweeper Souls-like out there. That has to exist. Huh? How did we get there? Let's just chuck all of these shitty spears that the animal people keep leaving. That's quite the emote. Montecore. It's very aesthetic. Why do you hear boss music? I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is a wonderfully complex little video game. Although, speaking of Roller Coaster Tycoon, this is not investment advice. Probably don't do this. Atari is looking for investors. Yeah. They're just sitting there screaming, "We don't have money." So if for some reason you would like to highlight in an opportunity to invest in the success of new Atari games, an iconic global brand with deep roots in pop culture, a passionate multi-generational fan base, and actively commercializing a rich catalog of more than 200 game IPs. Universally recognized brands including Asteroids, Adventure, and Centipede. Working with premier studios to make new games based on classic IP. If you invest $500, you get a t-shirt. Maybe don't do that, but $500 t-shirt, anybody? If you invest $5,000, they send you an Atari game cartridge. Probably worth like $1.50. Didn't they just buy the System Shock company? Yep, they just bought. They didn't buy the rights to the IP System Shock though. But yes, they did in fact just purchase the company that is remaking System Shock. Yes, E.T. The classic licensed franchise, E.T. I don't think anybody's investing in Atari, so... An ET cartridge. Man, it would be great if it was just like an ET cartridge that was still covered in dirt from the landfill that they like framed. That actually would be something I would spend a couple dollars on. Oh no, it's what's it called? It's a different, it's I'm blanking on the name of them. It's that completely unrelated company that bought all of the rights to all of the Atari IP back in whatever. Although it is kind of funny because I did pay for, and I have played a lot of Atari 50 collection. That's that's not a video game. That is a digital museum that has games in it. It is actually fantastic, and I heavily recommend it to anybody who likes video game history. It's really, really cool. Infogrames is the name of the company that bought Atari and then made themselves into Atari. They've gone bankrupt several times. It's other companies wearing the skin of Atari. Suited draft. Just remember, Atari coin is worth pennies. But yeah, I don't know. Atari still owns the rights to my beloved Roller Coaster Tycoon, so I'm kind of beholden to them. Fortunately, they don't own Dwarf Fort, so we are safe to a point. See if I can get all these bodies put away. I'm actually just going to lock this for a sec. Pull this lever. I'm going to set everything in this doorway to dump. They don't own Dwarf Fort yet. I mean, I don't think Dwarf Fort's for sale. Also, not to be mean to Atari, but I don't think they could afford Dwarf Fort. Even if it was for sale. Like, genuinely, like, if I had to make a bet, like, if we were to, like, just talk about, like, market value for Dwarf Fort as a video game franchise, yeah, I don't think Dwarf Fort's for sale. We're more likely to see Bay 12 acquire Atari. It's like Tart Adams buys Atari. Why? Because he wanted us to make new centipede cabinets. I don't know. Zack and Tarn don't really strike me as much of arcade fiends, but weirder things have happened. How much do I think Dwarf Fortress is worth? Well, if you were to entirely change the business model of Dwarf Fort and instead of releasing free patches and just selling a base game, and I guess maybe music, post-adventure mode being out, you could start selling expansion packs for the game. You could probably charge $30 per expansion pack, and considering the game is, what, at 650,000 copies or whatever now? 10 million. Minimum. Because you could quite easily, after a year or two of development time, just start milking expansion packs. Character packs, enemy packs, enemy unit packs. How is there a boulder in that wall? What? Excuse me? There is a schist boulder in that wall. Yeah, true. Netflix animated series. It's not on top of it. It is in it. It is in it. It's in the wall. Well, schist, exactly. Let's engrave it. Oh my god, I can't actually select it. Hold on. Because there's a boulder in the way. Okay, specify image. Specify new image. Object. Boulder. Rock. A small rock. Okay, it's an image of a small rock. Make a temple around it? I mean, that seems like overkill. I will, however, engrave an image of a rock on the... Assuming they even can. A small rock was my only option, okay? I couldn't do a boulder, and small rock was all they gave me, so I gave them small rock. I don't agree with your headcanon here, Lechkin. It's an image of the barricaded work, an image of a small rock. The image was commissioned by the Bloody Dance of Kings. Yep, it's good times. Wait, what? After being unable to find somebody in charge to cry on. My mayor wants me to make more breastplates, so... Long live rock, I suppose. If it was in a more opportunistic location, I would consider doing more with it, but it's just not. It's not somewhere easy to do with something interesting with it, so... It's made from removing rock from the wall. That is how engravings work, yeah. You chisel away a little bit of the edges. Is accepting after experiencing trauma. Yay! Some of the Mbaka glass has stopped being as depressed, which is good. Aegis is still pissed. Geshid's getting a little better. Not by much, though. Well, sure they'll do okay. There's a patient getting diagnosed who's some fool. Appears to have motor nerve damage. I don't know why there's a human axeman in here. It's funny, we were talking about guests earlier. I don't actually know why there's a human axeman. I clearly must have like left something open to the public, but I don't know what it is. So one of these got left open to the public, but I'm not sure how. Anyway, there's a human axeman hanging around in my fort. I don't trust anything John F. Kennedy says. Nothing against John F. Kennedy, I just don't trust the guy. You kind of like the aesthetics of all ramps? It does look neat to a degree. I don't know. I think I prefer the stairs. It's easier to build around them. But the too high walls, I will say, has been like forcing me to make some weird-ass looking rooms. Which is kind of a positive and a negative, I guess. It's very wheelchair friendly. Yeah, except for accessing these upper bedrooms. All right, let's just do all that. Yeah, it's like, because it is very wheelchair friendly, and until you start looking at the parts where I've like built stairs, and then it's like, yeah, no, then you lose the wheelchair friendly bit. So it's not exactly what I would describe as wheelchair friendly, but it kind of seems that way upon initial glance, yeah. Gonna say I'm pretty sure these are gonna get canceled, but no, they didn't. Well, that's convenient. I need more beds. Let's make 10 more beds. Let's get everybody equipped with more stuff. Let's do low boots, 20. Out of steel. I'm still not used to the fact that I have to go in a specific order of these. So many public buildings look accessible until you go through one set of doors. Oh, and it's just like, oh, look, stairs. One of the Kerbal Space Program streamers I know, or he doesn't really stream much these days, but his name's Matt. He's in a wheelchair, and he's the best person ever to have around at PAX because he just, like, literally just goes faster than anybody across the PAX floor, and the crowd just parts for him. He just has a little flag and just says, excuse me, coming through. Excuse me, coming through. And you just walk behind him. If you want to get somewhere, walk behind Matt. Because, like, he'll just be just rolling through. Everybody has to get out of the way. It's the best way to get across the floor quickly. But yeah, it's definitely more wheelchair friendly than most dwarf forts. Use the wake to take advantage? Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. So, Clino, if you're still lurking around, have you heard any weird, or maybe not weird, have you heard any rumors through the grapevine when this patch is going to leave the beta branch and move into the main branch? Poking for inside info. After one cane whack, people learned. Oh, wow. I mean, I wouldn't even do that. Hitting people just seems a bit extreme. What was the name of that thing that was sitting in that forge? An item sitting in one of my forges. Rag, this thing. Yeah, the brass breastplate. Self-titled. Yeah, I never really thought too hard about the wheelbarrows going up and down the stairs. It seems like one of those things where it's like if you think about it too hard, it stops making sense. He had a firm hand on the cane. Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me. One way to part a crowd. Some migrants have arrived despite the danger. Hallelujah. We have 3 beds currently, it looks like. And tons of dwarves in need of sleeping spaces, so... We'll have to do stairs up again. You don't remember it offhand? I want to know because I want that SDL2 patch to go into the beta branch like Putnam suggested. I want to mess around with that. Because there's something about experimental multi-threading that just seems exciting. They heard about the boulder. Yeah, clearly. It's even bolder than any boulder they've seen before. Because it's a boulder that's in a wall. They say it's the first boulder. And I couldn't share it. You're freaking bursting with secrets that you can't share right now? Oh. I'm assuming it's just adventure mode music related. Considering Tarn teased that stupidly heavily the last time he was on. Speaking of Tarn, I'm trying to have Tarn on next week, and I need to actually pester him to confirm. Thanks for reminding me of that, myself, me. The boulder has witnessed the birth of the first anvil. That is actually the thing that we truly need to solve in Dwarf Fortress lore. Where did the first anvil come from? Obviously, Armok bestowed it upon the dwarves, but, like, come on. I really hope that Armok isn't just, like, a giant anvil that just gives birth to baby anvils, because, like, at that point... we're just getting a little bit silly. All right, let's get beds all the way across here, assuming I have them. Don't think I have enough, but I can start building them at least. I don't have enough, but I can start building them at least. Got another artifact starting. It's a weaver. It's another clothing shop, I'm assuming. Actually, I would like to select the material type for that. Let's use nice blocks. I doubt it. In regards to cynical time loop comment. The Pregnant Creed has many worshippers. Now requires a temple and a priest. First, I'm going to recognize a high priest over here. No named dwarves. Oh, there we go. Death is now a sacred music. And first silver is Kubok. We got a clothier shop that's been claimed by the possession artifact. I don't know. Right now, all I want is, why would I see that mental image in your head? What, the Armok being a giant anvil giving birth to baby anvils? I mean, the Dwarf Fortress community put it in my head, so. I want to say it was like Cupo once who said that. It was just like, Armok's just a giant anvil who gives birth to baby anvils. When the discussion of the first anvil was happening. It was ages ago, so that image has been in my head for a while. As for why did I put it in your head, I don't know. It just lives there now, rent-free, I suppose. Whew, lag. Where'd that come from? Well, these dwarves seem to be quite happy-ish. Happier? Had to make it your problem? Naturally. I take zero blame for things that I say. It's actually probably not a good thing. Only if they don't matter. That's my caveat. And that one certainly doesn't matter. Speaking of the Pregnant Creed, this is going to be where the pregnant creed go. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Grumbles. Also, I've been streaming for 9 hours. Apparently. I think what I'm going to do... Cool. Slaughter to boar. Got a library. We've actually made some pretty great progress today. We lost a lot of dwarves. We killed a lot of amphibian people and their mounts. We dealt with many problems. We fought off an entire legion of batmen and their mounts, which were not friendly, by the way. We lost a lot of soldiers because of it. We've now got 2 fully... Uh-oh. Why do I have a... Dwarf over here? What do you need? Crutch required, diagnosis required. Am I out of crutches? What? I am. Interesting. Anyway, we'll make 10 more of those. We dug down to the 3rd cavern layer and fought many mean creatures down here, which has been good. We made several bajillions cave spider silk cloths that we still have tons of. Tons of fortress progress, really. Yeah, no, today was a productive day. I've accidentally streamed longer than I've intended, and chat's a little bit quiet. It's none of your fault for those of you who are here. You guys are lovely. But I think I'm going to end a little bit on the early side today. And go make that video that we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. Nuked a Batman colony out of reality with Armok's power. Yes, this is true. We did cheat with DF hack. So now is your opportunity, chat, to get on TV again and say bye, YouTube. I mean, you've been on TV the whole time, but... I did say that you're lovely. Yeah, you guys are lovely. Everybody who's not here today is big meanies and no, it's fine. But stick around because we're gonna raid somebody. We'll raid somebody who's playing dwarfs. I think Sal's on, yeah. Yeah, let's go say hi to Sal. I think that's what we'll do. We'll go say hi to Sal. So stick around for the raid. What I do gotta say though, before we do anything, is if you would like to support this channel directly and you don't want to buy a Twitch sub and Patreon isn't your thing, I have a merch store. We have lots of cool merch. It's dwarfy themed, so you could get yourself like a I don't know, vile force of mug. You could get yourself a final a Last Supper themed Dwarven mug. This is probably my favorite one, actually. Big fan of this one. Cooler did a great job on this one. I'm going to need to send some of these to Kit Fox